Good morning. I am higher vibrations and so are you. And man, oh man, what energy have we been having? This has been crazy intense for so many of us. Um, Spirit really has outdone themselves once again, haven't they? It's been amazing. So, yeah, super blue moon energy. We're not actually at the super blue moon yet. The full moon is on Monday. Okay, let me go to it so I can tell you the exact time. I have this. This is kind of fun to see. You see this, guys? I know you can't read it because it's the lot, but from here down, this is Monday, and the occurrences of the astrological, what's happening in the heavens during this time, just for Monday. We also have a lot for today. By the way, yesterday was an 888 day. I forgot again, because we're in the energy, we're in the moment, and stuff's going through. So, using the numerology as we do, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 equals 8, right? So this is an 8 year. Also, yesterday was 1 plus 7, 17. That's an 8 again. And so I knew to look for it, and then I just forgot. You know what I mean? Because I was in it. We were having solar flares, and the solar storm that we had yesterday, the geomagnetic storm, I think it got up to a G3. It was pushing to a G4. We're expecting another one today. I know that. I don't know when anymore. I don't trust that anymore because it seems like they're not always on exactly when it is happening. Though the full moon peaks at 1, 2, 3 p.m. Central Time tomorrow or Monday. So it'll be in the afternoon that we'll have the actual fullness of the moon, but we still have the energy of it. And of course, the moon will still be full at night. We have a lot of other things happening. We're in Mercury retrograde. The Schumann's been off the charts. All kinds of stuff. We had some really crazy storms here. I know that for me, it was very dense energy yesterday and the night before, as well as last night, I guess, too. Super tired, exhaustion. I heard some people talking about muscle cramps. Or I saw that earlier in the chat, and yeah, there's a lot of people talking about that right now. Magnesium really does help. Grounding really does help, though. Yeah, it's just my eyes, especially my eyes feel so puffy and uncomfortable right now. Um, I'm also feeling like a lot of like this throat kind of density stuff right now. So we're going through it. We're going through it. We also so it's the super blue moon. This is the last one we're gonna have until 2037, I believe. I might have the year wrong, but it's in the 2030s that we're not gonna have this again, which is kind of funny because the super blue moon's like a big deal. You're like, wow, this never happens. This is very rare. Well, we had one last August. So we kind of forget how uncommon this really is when we have these types of things. And there's an Aquarian moon too, so we're having a lot of this going. Did I say Mercury was in retrograde? Because that's also happening. There's so much going on. So hold on to your seats, kids. It's going to keep getting more intense for a little bit. What can we do to help ourselves? Rest the best we can. Get the most rest that you can. Fresh air, get out in nature the most that you can. Put your feet in the soil. If you can't get out in nature, at least go outside, and stand and doing what is called earthing, so allowing yourself to go out there barefoot. And sometimes we'll bring soil inside the house if it's too cold or unfavorable weather. You can bring soil in the house and stand on it. It helps a lot when you can't do what, actually go out into it. So let's grab this one. Kenny says, I was guided to park a bathroom. Didn't really need to go. There was a hat on the sink with Mila on it. That's really funny. That's hilarious. I've been hearing this Pamela from Toto song is stuck in my head. Guardian sent it to me in Telegram the other day, and I woke up with that song singing in my head. The energy is off the chart. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining Omega 333. The energy is off the chart. It's really amazing what we're going through right now. Crazy ear and jaw pain, ear ringing as well. My ears have been like really acting weird and feeling like there's something going on with the octaves in the ears are changing. If that makes any sense? Anybody else experiencing this? The dizziness, yes, has gotten much stronger. Gravity just doesn't feel right. Yeah, this is what I mean when I talk about disorientation. Just not knowing where gravity's at. It feels like we don't really know where gravity is. It's like, is the wall the direction of the ground? It's kind of what it feels like, right? The ear and the jaw, yes, I can echo that back too. We have a lot of this stuff, especially I'm noticing behind the ears, like not right behind the ear, but that bone in your skull, right behind it. There's something changing right here. It's like there's something going on for us in our heads right now. The jaw pain though too. It almost feels like, the Tin Man. You're like, I need a little oil or something. There's a lot of this happening too. Remember, this is all throat chakra related. Many of us have, whether it be this lifetime or many incarnations before this, where we've been, persecuted or felt some reason for not sharing, not speaking our truth, not being our true authentic selves. A good model of what that's been like is a classic snapshot of what high school was like for most of us, where you just kind of felt like you had to conform to fit in and all this stuff. And if you didn't, there was some type of like persecution or repercussion that you didn't want, and then move on further into adult life. What would happen if you told people that you talked to the angels, stuff like that. So we all are having something about the throat chakra right now. Remember the throat chakra is this whole area, right? So you have like the sinus stuff, you have a lot of this stuff, teeth, headaches, not even teeth. I would say it's gum. The gums get a headache, like a throbbing. You can almost feel the heartbeat, sometimes the top of the mouth, especially during solar flares. And we've been getting some strong ones. We're expected to get another slew of solar flare geomagnetic storms tonight and into tomorrow, going into the full moon energy. So welcome to the super blue moon. Massive upgrades and progresses, Janet. Yes, that's right. A lot of stuff happening like this. Vegan Vixen, haven't had many headaches, but not much sleep. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I've been so freaking tired. And the dreams, man. We can't even get started about the dreams. What kind of dreams are y'all having, right? So many things going on in dream time right now. As we know, when we're in dreams, we're mostly doing astral stuff. The natives call dream time going or astral projection. They call it dream walking, and there's a connection, a reason for that connection, that we really are doing a lot of stuff. A lot of us will wake up finding ourselves in like a committee of elders, talking to individuals, having some type of exchange where we're learning and sharing ideas and developing what we're doing here right now. We're upgrading an entire planet, man. It's a lot of work on the soul level, on the body level, so give yourself a little bit of, if you can, be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to get extra rest, meaning, yeah, not everybody can sleep all night long or get more hours of sleep, but taking breaks in between, slow yourself down just a little bit. Just a little bit. I know it doesn't feel like we're meant to do that. We're in this Leo energy. We're moving into the Virgo, but we're still in this Leo right now. And, adding to that, a lot of people are still feeling Lionsgate, man. Lionsgate was a big one this year, and it still is. Vanya says, hello. Such a difficult day with pain and all those solar storms. Energies are off the charts. Yeah, yesterday was especially. I was like, I felt like I was ill, like if I had symptoms of it, it would have made more sense. But I just was like, I just can't right now. I just got to pull back. I had a session at noon and I barely made it to it. I was very grateful the other person could barely make it to it too. So we both showed up basically in our pajamas, and it was at noon. It's just a lot right now. Yeah, nothing feels bloody right. That's right, Vegan Vixen. Hi, Ralph. Good to see you. Love from Scotland. Man, Scotland's got some stuff going on too. That also in the UK, that whole area. The activations that are happening up there, the dolphins are coming up there, and the whales to bring up some of the knowledge. As we all know, the whale is the swimming library of the universe, and it carries an Akashic example or a record of the Akashic, and meant to anchor the knowledge here. And so now they're moving finally back up into this other part of the world over here. And so we're finding a lot of different kinds of activations here in this part of the world at this point. Andrew says, I spent the day in the lake. Good for you. That's it. That's the way to go. Yeah. If that's an option for anybody listening right now, oh man, I would encourage you to do it. Hey, 101 people here. If Elsa was here, she'd talk about the ones. And I just said that, and we've been on for 11 minutes, 11 seconds. Hello, Astra. Good to see you. Ralph is saying hello to Vegan Vixen. Hi, Mila from Sanctuary Traveler. Hello, good to see you, Omega 333. Julie, welcome. Good to see you. Mariette says, I forget so many things. My mind is spacey. I'm glad that you said this. I'm having this experience a lot too, where it's just like I'm in the middle of my thought. I'm easily distracted already, as you all know. Like the joke about squirrel, has been a thing for me because there's so many cool things coming in right now that you just go, oh, what about this? What about this? And we could spend days and days and days talking and still not cover everything that's happening right now in the heavens, is in the planet that we're in. We're drawing the planet to the heavens. That asteroid that came so close to us. What day was that? I don't even remember. It was this weekend, I think. It might have been Thursday. Who knows? That one was called Neo. I thought that was fun, with the echo to the Matrix. That we're bringing a lot of this stuff to us. Here comes some more solar flares, by the way. I don't know if you've been watching the activity on the sun, but there are more sunspots, big ones, that are coming through. So Fania says Schumann resonance was black today, off the charts. Yeah, the spikings of the Schumann resonance. So those of you who don't know, the Schumann is like the heartbeat of Gaia. And, there are people who try to, debunk the information, but I found it when I was already in tune with my body, and so, that often anyway, if not every single time, when my body's feeling a certain kind of energy spike, that's the Schumann, and so we can look at the graph of the Schumann resonance. If you look it up, the bar this way is as the time. So, an hour to an hour to an hour. But then the chart from above down, the farther that the white and orange energy goes down, the stronger the spike is, and typically it's like a blue background with just green. And then when you're getting some really intense energy or some stronger energy coming in, it'll be white, orange, yellow, depending on the graph that you're looking at, and so it's really easy to see. I'll post them on my Facebook and sometimes throw them into the Telegram. I know that some people are like, what does that mean? And so I'm just a quick explanation right there. I forget everything all the time, Vanya. Yeah, I'm finding that to be more and more true, especially when you walk through the portholes. So if you walk through one room to another, and there's a big joke about that, right? Why did I come into this room? I'm not having that so much, but I'm noticing that as I'm leaving from one room and going into the next, then my the place that I had, placekeeper of my thoughts, is kind of just garbled, and especially when we're in like a energy push like we've been having. Eyes with eye snot as well on waking. Yeah, a lot of people are having this eye blurry, this weeping of the eyes, this stuff. There's a film on our eyes that's coming off. And you'll find after that, typically right after, then you'll start to be able to see certain things too, which is kind of fun. Um, I'm also noticing that this is occurring along with, it's almost simultaneous every time this happens. There's something about like, it's like acne kind of stuff on the throat, around the neck, and it's not really acne. It's just like, it's weird. And we've talked about this before, but it's, our bodies are purging right now. And speaking of purging, most people have been spending a lot of time in the bathroom lately. We're purging through all different ways, and the stuff like I'm talking about on the neck is, it's leaving through our pores. And as it goes through our, leaves through our pores, if we're not as hydrated as it's needed at that time, it'll get kind of clogged up and stuck up in the pore areas. And that's why it's there, but it's not really exactly acne. It's interesting. So, hello, beautiful soul, so spiritual warrior. Oh, and to add to this, we'll find also. So let's talk about this really quick before I forget. We'll go back to Omega's question here. So, or comment. So, let's say that there's something that's vibrating at this frequency, and we're vibrating down here. So we're not going to actually see that thing, right? But then as we ascend like this. We kind of, it's like, looks like turbulence kind of, right? And as we're getting closer to this visual range of this thing, it starts to come into our view and out again, in and out, right? And then, and what we're doing is we're actually starting to see things that we weren't able to perceive before, which is really cool. And including buildings. That's what's been the most fun for me. There are even more awesome experiences of seeing things in the night sky that many people can see and that others have not been able to see. Pardon me. I really am feeling like there's a lot of stuff going on right here, right now. And just a variety of things, beings, a lot of sight coming in right now too, by the way, just to be sure that I address this, because I know a lot of people have been emailing me and talking about this, where things are coming into their peripheral vision. It's not always on the left side that it comes in, but often it is the left side that is first introduced. It doesn't really matter where. It could be above, could be below, but typically it's on the sides. Not always is it an orb of light. Not always is it a light-filled thing. Sometimes it's a shadow. It's the same thing. You can feel into it. You can feel in your heart center if it's of love or not. If you don't know what energy is coming in, what their frequency is, all you have to do is send love to it. Like as you're about to speak "I love you" to someone you love very much, that energy you have right here just before it comes out. Just send that out through your heart center. Send that out. And if they are of love, they'll send back love by a lot more, multiplied by much more than what you had sent. If they are not of love, then they will flee. They don't know. They cannot stand before the light. It's uncomfortable. It's like a repellent. So, now how to understand what energy it is that's coming in front of us at that time. So, let's see, having energy. Okay. Julie says, having all energy bodies playing tag team, trying to get off this ride so far. The creator God hasn't taken the reins yet. Yeah. It's like our bodies are just like going through the ringer, and most people are really super duper struggling, or having a difficult time with this, because we've been in a place for a long time where we've been taking in toxins into our bodies. Remember too, that it's not just what we took into our bodies. You, the egg that became you, were complete and fully developed in your mother's womb while your mother was in her mother's womb. And being that's how things are transmitted, you can go back through the lines. You don't have to go back very far when this stuff really started. It's probably about 200 years or so, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, depending on the line that we're talking about, where this stuff really started to come in. So we're learning, we're sending out things that aren't serving us. And so it's a lot of work. It's a lot of it's difficult, but know that we're getting through the hard part right now. This is the hard part. We're moving through it, and you're all doing so well. Please stick around. Please stick around. There's it's You can hear the squeak of the curtains right now. Before we had the symbolism of, you were in line at the theater, and then you were getting your tickets, and then you could smell the popcorn, and then you're in your seats, and then the lights dim, and you feel the warm popcorn in your lap, and you hear the audience quiet, and then the squeak. Now it's the squeak of the curtains. The curtains are opening, and here it comes. We're doing it now, and now we're in it. Now we're in it. This is the exciting, awesome part. This is the part that spirit craves. Other energies that can't be incarnated right now at this time have some type of jealousy, if that's a word that doesn't really work, doesn't translate very well to spirit, but what we would call jealousy, because we get to be here, and it would be a shame to leave now. It would really be a shame to leave at this time, when we're able to. This is the show. I woke up last night very dizzy. My eyes couldn't focus for a while. Yeah, I've been having a lot of weird stuff like this. I had all of a sudden a really intense shoulder pain on both sides, and this had to do with like the area of the wings. As was really difficult for me, to the point where I actually took an over-the-counter anti-inflammatory. I don't do that. I don't take things like that because my body just doesn't like it. I don't take any kind of pills or anything like that. I do, however, find the minerals and the things that we need in the natural world around us, and herbs and the different foods, plants. The farther away we can go from processed foods, the better. Though, if you can't, here's a very, very clear thing I've learned. If there's vegetable oil in it or canola oil, don't eat it. That's what I do. Okay. Or try to do. I don't always do that. Sometimes I will go, okay, I'm just going to order a pizza. You know what I mean? I will, and we're not all perfect. However, if there's something that you need to consider to omit from your body, from your diet, I would suggest vegetable oil, which isn't really made of vegetables, or canola oil. The thing about this, you'll find most processed foods do use this, and so I feel it in my lungs, like while I'm chewing. You can feel feels like this cotton's kind of coming into our lungs. I still have my ringer on. I should turn that off. Sorry about that. You expand what you focus on. Know it's happening for you, not to you. That's exactly right. And we're moving through this as a collective. Remember, we're doing this as a team as well. We're doing this as one thriving organism of light with one heartbeat. That's why we all have the centralized heartbeat. Dunk, 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 dunk. We're all doing it together. And connecting in these groups, in these communities, really, really helps. Letting myself be alone and separate was what caused most of my duress. Kimberly, having a hard time staying balanced. Yeah. Right now, because we're, big giant geomagnetic storm on this side, and then Mercury's in retrograde, by the way, still, and it's going to be in retrograde till the 28th, I think. Let me look. Wait a minute. Where is it? Yeah, it's the 28th of this month. So the 29th of the summit for the Southern Hemisphere. If we're going to stay in, that's when Mercury leaves retrograde. We're having a super blue moon right now. The geomagnetic storms that are coming in, the Schumann resonance spiking, the crazy weather. And that's just to mention some of those things. Then we have all these crazy astrological events that are happening in the heavens, more than, the super blue moon. There's a lot coming in, a lot of code. And a lot of us are, and according to my computer right now popped up, it's saying we're getting the solar flares impacting us right now, this very second as we speak at 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time. So, we're going to have more of them. This solar maximum isn't just for this year. People talk about it and think that we're just going to be done by the time summer's over. And it goes for another 2 years before we're out of solar maximum, and technically they started solar maximum early and, tried to make it so we kind of accepted it as normal, but it's really not. That's okay. It's happening the way it's supposed to. The sun is giving us these upgrades, right? These upgrades that are coming in are designed to assist bringing your dormant DNA out of dormancy. Remember, we were taught for a lot of years, for most of our childhood, that 90 to 95% of your DNA was junk DNA, when it's actually not. It's actually, stuff that just was in dormancy. Yeah. Sending you love for sure. Stick around. I really hope that you do. You don't want to miss this. SS says, good afternoon, everyone. We should all receive t-shirts. We survived the Ascension. Hey, that would be so funny. Been having nausea. Yeah, dizziness, emotional roller coaster, and deja vu. Wow, lots of deja vu. Yes. And only eating once a day. Appetite's really been diminished for me too. I was just thinking about that last night as I was going to sleep. It's like, man, I really can't think of anything that I really like anymore, food wise. I used to be somebody who was like, I loved to cook, and I loved to share the food. I still do love to share food with people, but I just don't find the drive and the inspiration anymore. Food just doesn't really, it's just, I don't really want any of it, and I love the t-shirt idea. I've been having a lot of deja vu lately too. I find that I've always interpreted deja vu, not always, but for the bulk of my life, and interpreted deja vu as my soul is reminding me something, higher self, whatever you want to call it. There's a moment of pay attention to this moment. There's something you're missing, or something that you can pick up right now. It's not like a warning, but there's something going on in that moment to be aware of. Usually the ringing in the left ear, I don't know if ringing is the right word for it, because sometimes it sounds like a home and hum, and other times it sounds like a whistle, but now it's in my right ear. And it's also, yeah, I agree with you. I have the same experience, Barbara. And other times it'll sound like you're underwater, like all of a sudden, like someone's like covering it, and then like one side's ringing and one side's like in quieter, like it's muffled hearing. This is changing right now for everybody, especially when we're getting the solar flares, getting crazy visions. A lot of people are getting these too. And foresight is turning on for a lot of people, where you're starting to become aware of what's going to happen in the next couple of moments. And then as it happens, it's like, whoa. And sometimes even we'll find that the foresight kind of feels like deja vu a little bit, when you're being reminded of what foresight you already had. My teeth are effed. Have to go to the dentist. Been hanging on for them to regrow. Yeah, a lot of teeth stuff. A lot of oral, dental trauma also. This is all this throat chakra stuff. There's a lot to be said about walking the talk, being in your authenticity, and that doesn't mean to be perfect. Perfect is a very subjective term as well. Each person's definition of what perfection is will be different. Allowing yourself to be in the moment and to be authentically you. Sometimes that is not following what is correct to do at that moment. When it has to do with like, you should do this, it's healthier to do this. And sometimes, my body really wants me to get some Twizzlers. You know what I mean? I did that a year ago or so. When I used to love licorice. Like, that was like my thing. And I hadn't eaten it for a long time, and I got some, and it was so disgusting. I was so disappointed though, because I had this craving for it. Not only was it gross, but then I found myself married to the bathroom for a while. Hey, 144 people here, 144,000. Um, Sometimes we're drawn to do things that we think are unhealthy for our bodies, is what I'm trying to say. Being correct is not always what we think it is. Following your correctness, following your authentic truth, like, just because we're in ascension doesn't mean we have to have our hair a certain way or wear certain kinds of clothes. Just be you, dude. Be you. And the more you can be, the better you will feel. And the easier life will be for you, you know? And sometimes we're learning that the things that we thought were us were conditioned thing, so you're figuring it out as you go. We were taught to a lot of things, to do a lot of things that we're not in resonance with anymore. Our ancestors are all around us, guiding us through this upgrade. That's right. And connecting with these ancestors and allowing yourself to be open to these conversations, these exchanges, is another part of this. Being open to it rather than having a Christmas list when we arrive. Be open to the conversation that's happening and that's occurring, rather than because typically, many of us are like, we want to know about this and this and this and this, and I've wondered for my whole life, and then now you're in this exchange, and it's like, it's time to, if you can, allow yourself just to be in the moment and to be open to accept and take in what's coming in, and it will help you. Vicky, hello, Vicky. Been very hard going through this with my husband having heart surgery, trying to handle all these emotions and worrying about him. Yeah, it's a lot. You'd be surprised how many people are actually in this very similar story that you are right now, whether it be their spouse, their partner, or someone else that they love. There's a lot of, I've been surprised by how many of these stories I've heard lately, and I to the point where now I'm really paying attention. It's like, wow, there's a lot of people with this story right now, and there's something about this. I learn best when I'm in this conflict energy, because I no longer have the I don't know what you want to call it, but the luxury of taking the moment to decide. It's make the decision in the moment. It's kind of like surfing. You can't second guess yourself, or you'll be under the waves and knocking off the rocks at the bottom, right? And so there's a lot about this right now. I'm very fascinated. Mila, are you sensing any energetic frequencies or changes for Southern Oregon, Rogue Valley area? I don't know where Rogue Valley is. I do know, yes. So this whole area, that's actually partly why I'm kind of glad I'm not over there right now. Not to say that something scary or bad's happening there. There's some energy that we've been transmuting up in that area. I had been for the bulk of my life, that I am not doing right now anymore, but I'm still connected to it. There's these echo frequencies coming up from the core of the earth that are moving through. And yeah, it's causing, it feels like waves of energy. You'll probably know what I'm talking about, Kylie. These waves of energy, as they come up, it's like, and then you kind of feel like you're on your butt. And then another one on your butt, but it kind of feels almost icky a little bit, just a little bit. It's not negative. It's just that it feels icky because I wasn't always in that tune. You're right. So it's happening. So what we're talking about is this whole coastal area, starting at the top of Alaska all the way down, and it'll go to like Northern California. California has their own thing going on, the bulk of California rather, but this area, what you're talking about, this is there's some energy spikes and some things happening right there right now for sure. Yeah. And you'll hear it a lot. You'll have a lot more ear ringing usually when these are happening. It'll be like that high squeal pitch one, and then it'll fluctuate. It sounds almost like there's 4 or 5 different pitches all coming in, and they're all the squealy high frequency version. So I hope that answered your question. Divine Feminine Rising. Hello, everyone. The DNA activations are sure wild right now, beyond what I've ever experienced before. Yeah, dude. This is the time that we've been trained about, to be gentle with yourself, give yourself time, be sure that you're drinking the water that you need, that your body's getting the salt that it needs, that you have the potassium, that you have the magnesium that you need for your body. We talked about the muscle spasms and magnesium and how useful magnesium is for that. A lot of stuff about this right now. Yeah. And we have the support team too. Please remember, you have a whole spirit team at your disposal. And connecting with them with your heart center in this communion, this conversation, rather than this like need and like desperate reaching out. A lot of times we will reach out and like be in this begging kind of energy, and we'll do that from a lower chakra, and that's okay. It just helps if we do it from this heart chakra of this, you are, we've been taught, we've been conditioned for a long time that we're below all of these spiritual people, that we're, they're above us and all this stuff, and the we're not worthy kind of stuff. And that's bullshit. Okay. We're all of you, all of us, we're all equal. We're all equal. And when we connecting with spirit as the equal member that you are, you're a cohort, you're a peer to all of these beings. In fact, many of them will hold you slightly the way we would interpret them, holding you above themselves in some way. But that's only because they're honoring you and what you've been doing, how much you've done coming here to do this. Like, this is a crazy thing that we've done coming here to liberate a whole planet. Like, it's a lot, and that's why they hold us up in this honoring way. Allowing yourself to understand that you're a channel. You don't need an intermediary. You don't need somebody else to tell you what spirit and what God says. Feel it. You're connected directly to God, and so when we connect to this spirit realm in this way, knowing that we're a peer and that we're equal, perhaps just waking up version of an equal, because we're like still like, why are we here? What's happening? You know what I mean? Like, where's my coffee? That kind of a thing. But we're still a peer. We're still an equal. And by doing that, you'll find that these conversations, these exchanges are much more efficient, and the answers that you need come through much more clearly. And because you move away from all that lower dimensional frequency of that fear, shame is right there by fear. So that lowering self and putting yourself in shame does pull that away. Dolphin medicine card is amazing. Yeah. Dolphin energy, whale energy, real strong right now. Buffalo, very strong. Seahorse, a lot of stuff. It's crazy. Hey, Sharmany, good to see you, sweetie. Yes, dreams are next level. This last week has taken me up to 1 hour to land my Merkaba back into this dimension. I feel my spirit descending back into my body as the ship is landing. Awesome. There's we can move around. We can fly in our Merkabas. I'm not suggesting you jump off anything. There's a lot of these energies that come through and talk to us. They come to us through a vessel that is made of light. This light vessel is their Merkaba. And you'll see them zipping around outside. You can see it. It's crazy. It's really fun. Hello, Sprite 400. Good to see you. So spaced out. Yeah, a lot of spaced out. Oh my goodness. Schumann has been wild last couple of days. Yeah, those of you who follow the Schumann, it's been fun. It looks like a bunch of here, can I even show that? Probably. Hello, Robin. Good to see you. I'm going to grab my Schumann app and pull it up and show you an image of it. This is just recently. So let's see. Okay, see these energies here where it's like white and yellow and all that? That's really strong energy. So you track it from, this is hour to hour. This is Russia time, GMT +7. So, this is the hour by hour of that. So, right. And then this is where we are now. I think we're actually supposed to be here. So I think we might be in a blackout. I'm not sure. it's backwards for me right now. Anyhow, and then you'll also see these, that, these smaller ones here. This is still considered a spike. This green energy in the background, typically it won't be all the way down here when it's at rest. It's just like across the top here. So and then this monitor judges from here, from the top here down. The longer that this energy will reach down here, that's usually what you'll see the readout. So if it says like 80 today, it's moved down from here all the way down to 80, right? And so these are big spikes of energy. These are big ones. They just added this new thing to the side that I find fascinating or peculiar, where it says 70 SOS. And it's like, what's that all about? And then Maddie's like, that means save our souls. It's like, oh, okay. Speaking of, Maddie's birthday's coming up next weekend. I'm really excited. She's going to be 10. It's going to be really exciting. I'm happy. So thank you for bringing that up. Much love from Arizona. Good to see you, Robin. Janet, last night's energy was activating the sacral form intense. Yeah, we had some. So for you, it was the sacral chakra. I had a lot of, it was a brow chakra and throat chakra, and more. Wow, I forgot about this. I had these bursts of almost rage that were just fleeting, that I didn't actually have long enough to actually feel rage on the outside of me. But man, I don't typically feel those types of sensations. So when I feel irritability, anger, and things like that, it ends up, it's huge. It's huge. Oh, Sprite, thank you so much. Baby Lemon jumping in our lemon character's arms to hug him. I wonder if that's the image that you. Thank you so much for the 1999 999. Wow, that's a lot of code right there too. Thank you so much. That was very generous of you. I really appreciate it. That'll go towards Maddie's birthday party. Thank you. She wants to go jumping. Actually, that's really funny. She wants to go to the trampoline park because. Oh, and the storm that we had, man, it knocked down this tree, and that's just crazy. Wow. Thank you so much, Sprite 400. SS, sharing our light is our crypto night. Yeah, it is. It is. And as we share our light, then we encourage and inspire the light in those around us. And that grows and expands and gets bigger and more able, balanced, in rhythm. It's like the idea of being in a circle with a few people and shoulder to shoulder, arms around each other, or doing the holding each other's wrist in that linked way. And then you add more people and more people and more people. And as you do that, then all of a sudden the energy that moves through that ring of energy of people grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and is more stabilized and capable and stronger, right? And that's what we're doing as a collective. Hearing the Looney Tunes intro, on with the show. This is it. Yeah, I like that, Bella. That's so funny. Yes. We are certainly in it right now. It does feel like it's like, here we go. This is the fun part. Remembering this is a super blue moon. It's super blue moon. We just left another 888 portal. Hey, 1, 2, 3 in the YouTube chat at that time. That was at 1426. Now it's 153 people in total. That's really cool. This is the time that we're all we've been preparing for, so it's kind of not surprising. It's not surprising at all that Spirit's kind of going over the top, like, and more, it's like plus fireworks, so we're having a lot of things happening. We're also, I'm expecting to hear about some more asteroids or comets that we've not been told about yet. So I'm looking for that, because that's what Spirit was telling me about. Right now, when it comes to the astrology of what's happening on the planet and where we are in the planet, rather. Wow, I'm just getting something right here. there's something kind of interesting, kind of almost like a headache, but not quite. Is that, wow, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. Is the when it comes into what's happening in the astrology, there's a lot of conflicting energy. There's a lot of conflicting energy. We're having, like, it's like a dance between our dreams and practicality is kind of what's happening because of the alignments that are occurring at this moment and moving into through Tuesday at the very least. And so we're going to kind of feel like we want to do all of these things. We're being very creative and we're like really engaged. And at the same time, there's people out there, and then there's that energy of like, what is it that, boundaries, and following all that stuff. So we're going to be in this conflicting energy for a little bit, and knowing what it is that we're going through often helps. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I was diagnosed with this like a handful of years ago. I wonder where your comment before that came from. Hello, here we go. Can all these energies as accentuate, thank you, I said it, CPTSD symptoms, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, a lot of times that's what it actually feels like. What's happening if you don't even have this? That's what it feels like, especially during this window of time we're in right now. As the energies come in, these energies are meant to assist the most possible amount of energy to help you to heal these things. And so when you have everything that you need to heal something, all the things that need to be healed come in. And they go, pick me, pick me, pick me. And then as you address each of these individual components, then you'll find that there'll be relief. However, if we're trying to ignore and kind of like hide from it or just like, stop, go away, I don't want it, because it does seem a lot like flashbacks as these things pop up. Sometimes they're things that we don't even recall. They're from a past life or even from an Akash kind of experience. You're connecting to someone else's trauma that hasn't been resolved. And so now you're able and capable to help heal that thing. And so then we start to do it and we realize, oh my goodness, what is this? I have been guided by specifically Archangel Michael, but many times by other energies in spirit, is that when I focus on the thing, when I try to pull it apart and like dissect it, understand it, truly, it's entertainment as well. Like, wow, this is a really interesting life. What was it like to be that person who was that, and all this stuff? When I do that, I'm using judgment. I'm deciding a thing about a thing, and I'm holding it in place. I'm not letting it move. I'm keeping it prisoner. So is it blue? Is it red? That's deciding a thing about a thing. It's not only when we say, is it good? Is it bad? That's not the only use of judgment. Just what is it? And instead of doing that, allowing yourself to just feel the emotion, energy and motion, emotion, energy and motion. Emotions are meant to move. They're meant to stay in motion. They're not meant to sit down and hang out and have a bag of chips on your couch, right? So allowing it to move through instead of embracing it and grabbing onto it will assist it to continue on its path. I'm not taking away from your Jen's CPTSD. It's just that we'll find a lot of times, in my example, in any way, I found that as I allow these things to move through me and just feel it and not have to be a certain person for it or change my identity as a result of it, then they begin to go. As a lot of my background, and I'm not bringing it up to everybody has trauma and it's equal, right? I was a trafficked child starting from the age of 4 to 14. I was a sexual slave. I was beat regularly. I was deprived of food. I was put in the dungeon room often. We had a lot of really intense trauma. We never brought to doctors or hospitals. They were always like, no one wanted anyone to see what was going on. This went on for the bulk of my childhood. And even before that, the home that I was raised in was very violent. very unkind atmosphere. And as a result, I also had the same thing that you're talking about. I died clinically proven. I died 5 times. I had 5 near-death experiences, though I had many more than that. Um, why am I showing you this? Everybody has trauma. Sometimes it looks bigger than others. And it's easier, I would say, to heal through it when there's something big because it's easier to point at it. So I feel like that I'm one of the lucky ones, that I get to have something I can tell where it came from, why I'm feeling that way. Where a lot of people, it's subtle enough that they can't identify it. They can't point at it to say, this is something that needs to be healed and that needs to be released. You know, if you don't know why you're feeling some kind of way, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why it's being felt. It's that it needs to be honored and felt so that it can go, so that it can continue on its path, and so as while doing this, by doing this over the years, I have less and less CPTSD type response to a lot of things, and to the point now that if I go to a psychologist today, I doubt that they would give me the same diagnosis, apart from the fact that there was a previous one there. Because over time, you find that you can heal. You can heal all things. You can heal all things, and it's a rocky road. It's difficult. It takes time. It takes self-love, and if you don't have a lot of really big things and you're feeling this emotion move through and you're not sure why, and you feel like you need to know why, I encourage you just to embrace the experience, to let that emotion move through you, and to remove all judgment. For that's what Archangel Michael says, is to judge is to hold a thing in place. For when you judge something, it is no longer able to move. It is stuck until you remove your judgment. And it's you being the warden and the prison, and also the prisoner. So I hope that I didn't spend too much time on that topic. It just feels very, very important for this now moment, is that a lot of people have these kind of experiences and we don't even know why. And because we're so conditioned to need to find out why, that we often will over exacerbate the thing and make it become more intense, and therefore less enjoyable or less stabilized, if that makes any sense. So yes, thank you so much for being willing to open up and to ask that question. Mrs. Mystic, gotta go. We'll finish watching at home. Have a beautiful and blessed day, everyone. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. I've been taking MSM, and it's been a game changer for me and how I feel and helping with Ascension Symptoms. Awesome. Thank you for your comment. Sending you hugs from us, Barbara. I jumped down really far. So let's grab this one. Susan Ford. Hello, Susan. Higher vibration. You attract the most beautiful souls on your channel. Oh, well, thank you. That is one of the most beautiful compliments, I guess you could call it, than I've ever gotten. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I love the people that come here. I love all of you. Bless you, Maddie. My daughter's in the other room sneezing. Thank you all of you, for being on this journey with us. It's so amazing to be in this community and to get to share so openly with so many, and to have this family. And I feel your love, and I hope that you feel my love and that you feel each other's love, because we're filling each other up. Wow, that sounded funny. That meant with FILLING, filling each other up with this joy and with this love, with this community. Community means communication in unity. This is the way of what community is meant for. And so communication in unity. We find ourselves in the sharing place, and then we find that we're not alone. And that not only that, we're safe. And that other people not only have been there, but they can assist us and to guide us, in this sharing way. It's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Thank you all. And thank you for that beautiful comment. I'm going to savor that. Diamond Heart. Gosh. Happy birthday, Maddie and Mommy too. So special. Number 10. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about her birthday. Oh my goodness. Birthdays are so much fun. They're so much fun. It's when you're little, right? I mean, I don't care about my birthday anymore. I look for the signal of my birthday because spirit still talks to me through the number of the year that I'm in. So 44, 45, and 46. And then 47 is also going to be really interesting too. We're in 45 right now. So that's really cool. There's something else. Hold on. Huge storms all over, flooding, cleansing, so much cleansing. It's been such a ride. No words. Carry on, diamonds. Keep going. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how much storms and the changes of what's happening right now with the planet. And as it's occurring, we're noticing. So, yes, the poles are shifting, but they're shifting slowly. We're also getting the big event. We're already getting it. The solar flares that are coming in, they're in doses that work out to be a much bigger thing. There's no point of like having a big giant catastrophe. It's letting things happen slowly, and we're breaking down. We're closing. We're breaking down is not probably the right word, but we're walking away from the systems, and the systems are no longer in use anymore. They no longer have use, rather. And so as we do that, we're noticing that the weather's changing, that the way that the world is and we engage in it's changing. Also too, the ley lines are shifting with this slowly shifting pole. The poles are shifting slowly, so too are the ley lines shifting. There are a lot of different types of grid workers, and some grid workers are the ones who build, where they pile up stones, even small stones, not even realizing that it's important, putting things together in a certain way. It's been fun watching people do that. They just, while they're talking to you, they don't even know why they're doing it. They're just like, put the stick over here and add this thing here. And now there's this thing. And then you discover that this is, well, you can tell when you're there, but then you also have proof later on that there's an energy spike in this place. For many times, for a very long time, the ley line energies have been kind of hijacked by, facilities, and we're finding that now those facilities, where the ley line was, it's shifted to like across the street or across the block or down the road all the way. And so we can now utilize those energy spikes, those places where the energy is really so strong. So it's really cool. And along with that, storms, thank you. Thank you so much for your sharing. Can you talk about light worker and light slave? I would say that the difference with those is that a person who, if you talk to Elsa, and I agree with Elsa, that there's not actually a light worker, because if we use the word work, then that's a slave, right? Work is not meant as what we think it is, and so when you're doing something that you don't want to do, if you're doing something that you don't feel like that you have a choice, then that's the difference. A light slave, I've actually not heard this reference before, but I find this really play on words really fascinating. That's why I grabbed onto it. And so I would say that we've been duped with words for a long time. Words are spells, right? Spelling, casting a spell to teach somebody that they're stuck somewhere. We've been the broadcasting of the television, the television, all this kind of stuff that happens. We're taught to believe that there is no other way, and this is a right and a choice and something that we want to do. When in fact, it's sometimes something that people don't want. Finding that you're being driven. Okay, here's what Spirit told me is, if it sucks, it's not your job. If you don't find joy in it, if you are not enjoying yourself, it's not your job. And sometimes the reason I got that was I really was concerned about the job that they were showing me, the plan of my next steps were going to be. And I was very overwhelmed and concerned because I'm not a people person anymore. I hadn't been. I'm slowly becoming that a bit, at the same time being very introverted. So it's really complex and confusing. And I was concerned. I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? And if it's not play, then it's not what you're meant to be doing. Sometimes I'll find myself really, really, really enjoying cleaning. And sometimes I'll find myself not wanting to do the cleaning at all. So it also depends on the moment that you're in, So anyway, those are side examples. However, I really like your question. I really like the word play there. And if it sucks, it's not your job. So, let's see. Let's grab on to Joyce. Yes. She's talking to somebody else. It took me some 40 years to heal from childhood traumas. Right. It takes time. And I'm 45. And I would say that it's funny. Every year I say, and now I'm, it's like we're still doing it. We're still doing it. We're still moving toward a more balanced self, and as we upgrade or one up what we had been doing before, then we'll find that there's more to see and more to do and more to heal. This is something that's been really fun, that I don't know, for those of you who are still healing through these traumas, many of you won't even really know, because I didn't, is that once I healed through the traumas, there was a theme about my childhood is I couldn't remember any joyful moments at all. Like I couldn't. I'd heard stories. I come from a large family. There's 10 kids in my family, 10 between my two parents together, and many of them would tell stories that I didn't remember. And I thought perhaps they made up, or maybe I wasn't even there, And as I healed these different aspects, these different points in my childhood, all of a sudden, I started having memories, and not even particularly overly joyful moments. Just, wow, I remember sitting and hanging out and eating a peanut butter sandwich, like things that didn't have much significance. However, all of that trauma overshadowed my ability to see these other moments, these times where, I wasn't having trauma, so I just wanted you to see this, because there's more to it. Many of us, it's like the overshadowing of the trauma blocks out our ability to know that we had more guidance beneath. And that's the other thing. Spirit's been around a long time, encouraging, guiding, whether we called it an imaginary friend, whether we thought it was a dream, many dreams, or whatever. Spirit's been there. It's really cool. Oh, Barbara, thank you so much. 1999, you are enough. One day at a time. Thank you, Barbara, very much. I'm so grateful to all of you. You are enough. We are enough. You know what I mean? Like, we got this. We went through all of that stuff. It's purification by fire, right? And now we're here. to stand and to laugh and to enjoy, to be in joy, and to allow ourselves to be at peace. Yeah, there's stuff going on right now. There's energy moving through the planet. And so we don't need to worry about what happened on our yesterdays. Allow yourself to move through and heal those things so they're no longer something that needs to be factored in. So I have to get going. I got a little kiddo that's been waiting by the door over here. So remember, please, that we are in the super blue moon energy already right now. Like last night was crazy. Every single dog on the block was barking all night long. All night long. Turn our messes into messages. I like that. Thank you. Ooh, I love that quote. I hope you don't mind if I repeat that at some point, because that's beautiful. We're in Mercury retrograde. We're having, a lot of geomagnetic storms coming through. We are, having conflicting stuff happening in the different astrological stuff that's occurring right now. So allow yourself, out of all of the things that we have going on energetically, the one of the main themes that keeps repeating itself is to be in the place of quiet, meditation, and creation. We are, remember, we hear this a lot in every religious, spiritual, whatever background kind of thing. It talks about we are, an example of the creator, right? We're, made in their image. We're meant to create. When we're not creating, that's when we're not feeling in joy. So allow yourself to create. Creating doesn't have to be a sculpting or painting or drawing or sketching. Those things are also very useful. Writing, cooking, creating communities, creating a love space, creating space for others. One of the things that I really love watching is my friend Christy. She makes these crystal grids. She's in Australia and she's got all these crystals, and she'll put them in like a shape together on the ground or on the table and make them pretty. And she is putting her intention into it the entire time to uplift humanity in some way. It's meant to share. And yeah, she's in some place, some other country, somewhere else. And I feel it. I connect to it. You know what I mean? And that's creating too. Create. Not everyone. I've had this conversation with so many people who are like, well, I'm not creative. I'm not artistic. Well, you are. You're creative. You're an example of the creator. And that's why when we're not creating and we're just in like this stasis mode, that's when we're least happy, when we feel the least fulfilled. So allowing yourself to create, to engage and participate, then it uplifts yourself as well as all those around us. Thank you thank you so much for what you do, Mila. Sharing a big part of your story gives me incredible hope. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. This has just been so much fun to connect to all of you. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for the love and for the support. And, know that you're not alone, that we're all doing this, right? Like it feels so much like we're the only one and we're stuck and it's so hard. And yeah, it's not always super easy, right? But right now, as we're moving through it, it's becoming more and more easy as we connect and do it with others. Allow yourself to lean on those around you because they also want to lean upon you. Like that circle example I said, arm to arm, we support each other. We are one breath, one heart, one thriving organism of light. And we're here together to do this together in love and in joy. So, and I will see you all, by the way. I'm going to be joined on Wednesday by Dr. Dwayne Hartman. He's I'm not sure what he's called, what he calls this. It's this awesome higher frequency. It's like a hypnotism. He helps us to, when sometimes we get stuck and not able to say I love you to ourselves and see this awesomeness in ourselves, and he helps kind of like uncasting of spells. So he's a really fun energy. I really loved being around him when we had a conversation. So I'm looking forward to sharing this space with him on Wednesday at the same time as this one started. I love you all. You got this. I'll see you soon.